Hey, Mom, how are you feeling? Dad said you caught a fever. I'm fine, honey. Just feeling a little under the weather here. Don't worry about me much. Where's Sirius? Out with his friends again. He's going through some prime teenage years. Doesn't listen to me one bit anymore. He told me he's volunteering for a charity group. Yeah, that too. He's been quite active with all this social work. It's helping with his portfolio. But is he giving you guys a hard time? You know how he is, hun. He has a good heart, but he can be a troublemaker when he wants. Did something happen? Are you guys hiding something from me? No, of course not. You are busy with your job now, something that you worked so hard for. You have always taken care of us, but now it's time we let you enjoy life a little on your own. Mom, don't say it like this. You guys are never going to be a burden to me. I will always look after you guys. And if there is anything you want me to do, just say it without any hesitation. I miss you so much, Stella. Ever since you left, this house feels so empty. Sirius doesn't have much time for me, and your father is busy with his office. Reading books and watching Netflix shows don't help me anymore. What about volleyball? Do you still go to PLA, or have you decided to quit? Sometimes, but I don't think my rustic bones can play anymore. It can be a pain in the ass, and I mean literally. Oh, please, we know how active you are. Stop calling yourself an old lady. But if I'm not at home, your little brother starts complaining about food and cleaning up his room. Ugh, I don't know why he has to be such a jerk at times. I just want some peace of mind for myself. Oh man, he is such an asshole. Mom, I thought you guys stopped listening to his demands. What happened to that? And what about Dad? It's not about listening to his demands. He just comes home so tired. I can't help but feel bad for him. The same goes for your father. He tries to understand his son, but sometimes things just get bad between them. Sirius doesn't want us to get involved in his life, and we understand that. But still, sometimes I hope we'd go back to the little boy who wanted us around from time to time. Just because he's in his rebellious phase does not give him a reason to be such a jerk. From whatever you're telling, I still feel like you're hiding a lot more. Nothing, hun. Stop worrying about us, okay? I want you to take some time for yourself instead of focusing on us. If you don't tell me, I'm not coming for Thanksgiving this year. Hey, don't you threaten me like this, young lady. Dad was telling me about Sirius and his newfound habits, but he also hesitated because he knew I'd come and whoop his ass the next day. What did he tell you exactly? He told me how that jerk has been staying out late and does not even help you with the housework anymore. Video games have dominated his life, and he is straying away from his studies too. Social work is not an excuse for his lazy attitude. Well, he was not wrong. You guys really spoiled him, huh? Goodness, I don't know if I should yell at that dude or just blame you guys. Why don't you scold him? It's high time he learns about responsibilities too, Mom. You and Dad are growing old, and he is a grown-ass guy. Stop burdening yourself with so many tasks. He can take care of himself, but you guys keep babying him. He'll never give himself that chance. I know you're right. And there is nothing for me to say as an excuse, honey. But you know, the irrational motherly side of mine wakes up every time I see him come back home, all exhausted. He is trying to do something good, and I want to support him as much as possible. Right, he is your angel baby. How can I forget that? But still, Mom, try to be a bit more rational here. This new attitude he has adopted can have a negative impact on him in the future. He is like this with you guys today. The next time, it will be someone else. I know Sirius, and I know how hardworking he can be. But ever since he turned 16, he has changed more than I imagined. He thinks things will go his way forever, but that's not true. I don't want him to lose confidence in himself, but I want him to be more careful and learn adequately about the real world. And you two, he knows how important you two are, but still, always having easy access to everything can make people take them for granted. I know. Ugh, Stella, parenting is exhausting, but we got lucky with you. What do you mean lucky? Lucky, as in, you are the kindest person I've met in my life. And to say that you're my daughter, I feel so proud of it. Thanks, Mom. And just so you know, your father can't wait to meet you. He is diligently following the diet routine you prepared for him. For someone who hates bananas, he gives his all to chug down that banana protein smoothie. I still miss seeing his scrunched up, disgusted face. I miss you all so much. We do too, honey. Sirius as well. But that boy has gone all secretive about his emotions now. Typical. But yeah, I have a plan prepared for him. What plan? To get him back on track. I'll tell you guys soon. But don't be too harsh on him. You'll see. When I was 6, I was adopted by my dad. He wanted to raise me as a single parent after getting divorced from his wife 6 years ago. They never stayed in contact, but he still wanted his family. He happily brought me home, and a year later, he met Mom. She loved me from the get-go. They got married after 2 years and kept trying for a baby. For 3 years, they saw no results. Mom got depressed, and Dad was falling apart too. I grew up at the time, not under pressure, but because I felt like I was needed in that situation. A year later, they tried again, and Sirius was born. He became the angel baby, and I loved him. He was the youngest, so of course he got special treatment. I got jealous at times, of course, but the large age gap between us made me receive a lot of respect from him. He was never scared of Dad or Mom, but when I was angry, he knew shit was about to go down. We always had a loving relationship, but like almost every teenager, he soon reached his rebellious stage as well. I had moved out of our house by then because of my new job, but Mom and Dad kept me posted. Though they never thoroughly complained about him, when I tried talking to him, he started ignoring me. At first, it was infuriating, but then I also started to go easy on him. However, lately, his behavior has gotten worse. He uses his work as an excuse when acting like an asshole. And while Mom and Dad, like always, fail to say anything to him, I believe it is time for me to step up my game as his big sister and teach him a valuable lesson in life that he tends to forget quite a lot about. A week later. Dad, did you receive the mail?
Yeah, what is it about exactly? Is that a ticket?
We are going on a vacation.
Huh? Where did that come from? I thought you'd be extra busy this month.
I'm done with most of my work, and my boss was pleased with my performance. So I thought I should use this opportunity to take my parents on a relaxing vacation, where they could give their rustic bones a little break and enjoy the beauty of life.
I know you're plotting something. What is it?
Why do you think I'm plotting something?
Krista showed me that little chat you guys were having about Sirius. You think I won't know?
Of course not. You are my father. How can I ever underestimate you?
Yeah, sure. So what exactly are you planning, miss?
Nothing. I just told you. I just planned a trip to Hawaii with you guys. And don't you dare say no, or I'm going to kidnap you two from the house.
Is Sirius coming?
He'll be out with his friends for some volunteer work. Didn't he tell you guys?
Oh yeah, I completely forgot. Him and his social work. He's leaving this Friday evening and will be back by Sunday. I'm glad he's working hard.
Don't forget his addiction to video games. That guy will marry his console one day if this keeps up.
Nah, he'll get out of this phase.
Someone will have to get him out, and you know it.
What do you mean? You know exactly what I mean, old man. Stop spoiling your son rotten, or he's going to turn into an even bigger douchebag. When you become a parent, you'll understand, my beautiful daughter. The typical parental dialogue. Please. It does not work on me, and my little brother should understand the way of the world, or else he'll get crushed. You're too harsh on him sometimes, sweetie. No, it's just that you guys love him a little too much. So do you. We weren't the ones who spent their entire monthly pocket money and got him his first gaming console. Or we weren't the one who played video games with him all night when his friends didn't come. Still, don't try to manipulate me now. This is not working, Dad. Now, enough about Sirius. You guys are coming with me, and he's going to work his ass off with his social group. How long are we going for?
3 days. It can be more, though.
What? I have work.
Oh, please. This is the first time in 3 years that you're taking a proper break. Don't give me that BS. I'm not hearing anything.
Fine. I give up. Does Sirius know? That boy can't live without us in the house.
He'll learn. Chop now. Start packing your bags. And get some nice sunscreen, or else the sun is going to burn your white skin.
Aye, madam.
2 days later. Yo, sis, Mom and Dad will be back by Monday, right? Most probably.
What do you mean, most probably?
They're going on a vacation, dummy. Stop acting like a brat. You have your work too. Focus on that.
I wanted to go too.
But with your little gang, I offered you, didn't I?
It'd have gotten boring.
No, it's because you're stubborn and you want to be cool. You are such a jerk sometimes. You know that.
Hey, I was just being honest.
Nope, you are just being an asshole. Mom and Dad are never going to nag you, silly, because they love you a little too much. And as their son, you should also understand them.
I'm not in the mood to get a lecture. Please.
You're working with an orphanage, aren't you?
Yeah, what about it?
Is it all just for your CV, or do you learn anything while spending time with those kids there? Ever thought about how lucky you are? I was one of them before Dad brought me home.
Are you trying to send me on a guilt trip? Because it's not working.
I know, asshole, but you'll know. Now get your ass back to work and eat something once you're done.
You too, boss lady. Enjoy your vacation. Take care of Mom and Dad.
Maybe I knew what he was going through. But again, just because his hormones are all over the place doesn't mean he can act like a distant emo boy forever. As a kid, Sirius was very expressive. He never hesitated to show his emotions. The credit goes to our parents, who always taught him to be in touch with his feelings. But as he grew up, the people around him changed, and somewhere he felt like changing too, to fit in. The time we live in today is full of twisted mindsets. Kids his age want to be looked at. My brother never lost touch with his emotions. He learned to ignore them after seeing the popular boys at his school. He told me once when he was in middle school how he got mocked for crying when a Korean movie called Silence was shown to them at school. His drive to work for an orphanage came from that only. But somewhere deep down, he was hurt by those harsh words that his classmates threw at him. By the time he was in high school, he had changed himself to fit the world that now surrounded him. He is not bad, obviously, but I just want him to know that he didn't need to change himself for anyone else. The following 2 days, me, Mom, and Dad enjoyed ourselves a lot. We kept sharing pictures with Sirius that made him feel left out, but honestly, that was my plan. And now I was supposed to move to the next step. We had given our house key to my 2-year-long boyfriend, who sneaked into our house and picked up Sirius's gaming computer from there. I had written a note specifically for him that said, "Now think what it is like when you keep ignoring Mom and Dad, heart." And my boyfriend left it hanging on his door. Without his little distractions, I knew he would get plenty of time to reflect on his actions. The next day, while we were sunbathing, I got a call from Sirius yelling at me for taking away his video games. He even asked me why Mom and Dad were not picking up his call, To which I answered their phones were switched off and they wouldn't be coming back for the next 3 days. He was shocked, but I was laughing like the devil internally. That boy needed to learn, and this was the only way for him to acknowledge his mistakes. Mom and Dad had no clue about this, and luckily when I told them our flight got canceled and we would now be going back home 3 days later, they agreed without any further questioning. Perhaps they had figured out what I had in mind, but chose to stay quiet and enjoy their vacation here. Sirius, however, was not doing so well. Every time he'd call me and ask to hand the phone over to Mom or Dad, I'd just cut the call. My boyfriend kept an eye on him, and the day before our return, kept him company during the noon. The boy broke down before him, saying how terrible he felt inside this empty house. I was secretly on the call with my partner, and when I heard Sirius finally acknowledging his mistakes, a part of me felt relieved. The following day, when we all returned, he jumped into Mom and Dad's arms like the little child he once was. I couldn't help but grin proudly at that scene. The best part, however, was how clean and tidy the house looked. He had even prepared dinner for us, and Mom teared up when she saw the dining table. It was like a reunion of people who had fallen apart during the last few years, but finally came back together. As we sat down and enjoyed the dinner my little brother had made, we caught up with all the little things that were once forgotten. Looking at Sirius and his eyes filled with hope and joy, I felt an overwhelming feeling in my chest. At that moment, I thought maybe I had gone a little too far to punish that boy. Perhaps if I had taken him on vacation, things would have been even better. But then again, this little party we were now having was something else. And for the first time in years, it felt like Sirius was finally back.